Ever wake up with a jaw that just feels tight? Or maybe your dentist mentioned that your teeth are looking a little worn down? If so, you're not alone. Millions of us grind our teeth, and we all think we know why. Stress, right? But what if that's not the full story? What if it's not even the main story? Today, we're going to listen to what your teeth are really trying to tell you.
First, let's just start with a number that is kind of mind-blowing. 250 pounds. Yeah, according to researchers at Johns Hopkins, that is the amount of force you could be clamping down with while you're fast asleep. Just think about that. It's an incredible amount of pressure night after night after night.
Now, when most of us hear teeth grinding, our brain immediately jumps to one thing: stress. A rough day at work, a big deadline coming up, drama with the family. It just makes sense that all that tension has to go somewhere, doesn't it? And for a lot of us, it goes straight into our jaw.
Okay, so there's a fancy medical term for this. It's called bruxism. And it's not just one thing. There's awake bruxism, that's when you're clenching during the day, and then there's sleep bruxism, the kind that happens when you're completely out of it.
And for that daytime clenching, the awake bruxism, that link to our emotions, it's 100% real. Experts at Johns Hopkins and other places all agree psychosocial factors like stress, anger, frustration, those are the main drivers. It's basically our body physically reacting to all that mental pressure.
But what about when you're asleep? This is where the story gets really, really interesting. Because it turns out nighttime grinding, sleep bruxism, often points to totally different, much deeper issues that have nothing to do with how your day went.
So this is the big question we have to ask ourselves. What if that powerful unconscious grinding isn't just some random bad habit? What if it's actually a symptom, a warning sign that your body is busy trying to deal with another problem entirely? And that's exactly what a ton of research is pointing to now. For so many people, sleep bruxism isn't the root of the problem at all. It's a physical reaction, a side effect of other things going on under the surface. So what are these hidden culprits? Well, let's pull back the curtain on one of the most surprising and frankly powerful connections that researchers have found: the link between your gut and your jaw. Specifically, a little something called gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GERD. Now, to really get this, we have to understand the two main ways teeth get worn down. First, there's attrition. That's the mechanical wear and tear from teeth rubbing against each other. That's your classic grinding. Then you've got erosion, which is totally different. That's chemical damage caused by acid literally dissolving your tooth enamel. And here's where it gets wild. These two forces team up. If someone has GERD, stomach acid can creep up into their mouth while they sleep, and that acid chemically softens the enamel on their teeth. One researcher put it perfectly. He said it's like trying to sand a rock after you've soaked it in acid. The grinding on that acid-softened enamel just rips through it so much faster. And look, this isn't just a theory. The data on this is, well, it's pretty shocking. Take a look at this table from a study in the Journal of Clinical Medicine. It shows the odds of having severe tooth wear. If you grind your teeth but don't have GERD, your risk is already almost 3 times higher than normal. But just look what happens when you combine teeth grinding with long-term GERD. We're talking more than 5 years. And that brings us to this monster number. The risk just skyrockets to 4.7 times higher. That's not just a little bump, it's a massive increase. It really shows you this destructive partnership between the stomach acid and the grinding. The two of them together are just way, way more damaging than either one on its own. And if you're wondering what 4.7 times the risk actually looks like in the real world, well, this is it. This is a photo from that study. It's the mouth of a 23-year-old. 23. And they have both daily teeth grinding and acid reflux. You can just see that extensive wear right into the dentin. That is the direct result of this powerful, destructive combination. So while this acid reflux connection is huge, it's really important to get that bruxism is rarely that simple. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. It's more like a complex web, and GERD is just one, albeit very important, piece of a much bigger puzzle. Because when you look at the research, you see this whole list of other potential players. Obstructive sleep apnea is a big one. Sometimes grinding is your brain's way of trying to physically reopen a blocked airway. Certain medications, like some common antidepressants, can trigger it. Stress and anxiety are still in the mix, of course. And then you have lifestyle factors like tobacco and caffeine, and even your genes can play a role.
Okay, so we've got all these pieces on the table: stress, GERD,
sleep apnea, medications. What does this actually mean for you, for your health? How do we put it all together?
Well, probably the single most important takeaway here is this. Your mouth is basically a window to the rest of your body. Think about it. Researchers say that dentists are often the very first people to spot the kind of tooth wear that could point to a much bigger systemic issue, like GERD or sleep apnea. All of a sudden, that routine dental checkup feels a lot more important, right?
So what's the game plan? First, you gotta recognize the symptoms. Don't just ignore jaw pain or waking up with headaches or noticing your teeth look worn down. Those are signals. Second, start connecting the dots. Ask yourself, hey, could this be linked to how I'm sleeping or my digestion? And finally, the most important step, talk to the pros. Bring this up with your dentist, who can then team up with your doctor to figure out what's really going on. So we'll just leave you with this. That grinding, that clenching, that sore jaw, it might be way more than just a nuisance from a stressful week. Your teeth could be telling a really complex story about your overall health. The only question is, are you listening to what they have to say?